Harlem Soul for Uptown's Kickin, a collaboration between the Hold Up and Live at Larry's.
Y'all like my metaphors when I formulate my flow. Chateau, baby.
69 Chateaubriand, stick a freak on. Fuck your shit, stick a beat on. The speaker me on.
We've got loads of live acts, popping, breaking, MC cyphers. We're bringing old school heads, new school heads, all the flavours together under one banner: unity, love and peace.
Slick scissor kick it, with a visit couldn't be done because the visit is it.
Good times, let's do this.
Enjoy your meal.
Look, fucking hell, now where to start? The price of any bleeding heart can pull you back to motion from the depths of feeling solemn. Can't have seen myself in every circle. Moses, man, or Bosian. Welcome back to Honest Words, a whiskey's worth in modern art. I'll underwear that Lizzie laughs. Shots are back between that taxi rank and corner shop and corners off the city's charm. There's another fucked up my boy. So fucking hell, and I never reach your tent of any things of any broken palm.
Look, just outside, getting a little vibe. We're going to have a little conversation. This has been a long time coming. It's all about hip hop and a good vibe, so let's get into it.
Here we are with Slam LZ, bespoken and me, Basil Pepperpot, aka Black Pepper.
So what's happening? Who we got coming through?
We got Chew, who's actually over there spitting right now. One of the freshest, hungriest MCs coming out of Wales. We've also got Applied Science, boom bap blues influence vibes. We got Oracy, definitely true hip hop, London kind of act. She's going to come through a bit later. We got All of a Sudden, regular act for the area, representing on all fronts, all elements. And we also have, who else have we got, man? Scrabble, Space Tapes, Grey Cloud and Fozzy. These guys are some of the top beatboxers in the country. We got a lot going on today, and we're hoping to try and speak to a handful of people as we go. We're going to grab conversations with people as and when, and we're just kind of trying to, put some context on what we're doing here.
Like today we have the Dolby D breaking cypher, Danny Francis and the Poppin' cypher. Obviously, these guys are OGs, UK OGs. We're paying homage to them, as we want to pay homage to many other OGs who represent, right? But at the same time, introducing the idea to the young people that this is the guys that paved the way. These are the people you want to talk to. This platform here is an environment where you can talk to those people without feeling that divide. You can go up to them, you can jam with them even, and ultimately that's it, right?
There is that gap, man. There is quite a big gap right now, particularly in UK hip hop, between the younger heads and the older heads.
In general in life, young people and older people, the disconnect is there, right?
So something like this, what we're looking to do, because the hold up ourselves as promoters of hip hop in Wales, we look at bringing up young and upcoming acts. You're shining the light on the older acts, we're bringing these up and young coming acts, and we bring that together. If you've got some young energy and a great vibe and something fresh, and you couple that with someone who brings some experience and, do you know what I mean, that wisdom to the plate, that's a killer combination, right? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we got a load of live acts, so we're going to get right into this now. The first live act we've got is a young man coming from Newport, okay? My man Evan, 16 years old. Please make some noise for Evan, ladies and gentlemen!
Look, calm down, I know it's been a minute, yeah, I've only been chilling, but now I'm back here to kill it. Every rapper knows mine, I always hit it. Any rapper wants to step up, they know, they finish in it. Amazing that my lyrical wordplay goes all day. I don't care what any of them say, cause I'm still young, still trying to find some ways to get the dream and get the money in my pockets up. But now, I'm in the zone. Bass came in, about to kill it, heat so hot. Going through your headphones, going through your speakers, going through your TV. You can never beat me. I'm moving all mine, but you cannot see me. Definitely, you know more cooler than me. I'm owning the G. Put you in the ground to storm in this sheesh. You know I'm a king, so get on your knees. I'm running in this rap. All facts, if you think you could do better, you're mad. I decide the decisions. I'm already killing the rhythm. The minute I speak, all these rappers know it's speak for them. Trying to talk it out, I ain't got time for them. When I rap all my songs, it's a different scent. I speak no real, no need to pretend. I'm sick of apologizing, making no amends. I'll climb into the highest rooftop. I'll shoot my shot. If I've been working, brev, I know that I pop. And to be honest, bro, nothing really bugs me. I can spit your girl for 3 minutes to make her say she loves me. So cocky, I know, but every time I perform, yo, I blow minds though. I keep it 100, I keep it low key. EVA and you can't step to me. I am not ordinary, so cool with it. Rapping with me should be an honor. After I kill these beats, it looks like a horror. I slaughter, King of Kings, call me Triple H. She even likes my flow and what it takes, so call me H. You know I'm good, I got the pace. Told you I don't play. Man, I hard speaking as he's got plans. You rapping like diggity. Oh please, I'ma hit you with it so mean. Got you with that no-no, and you're scared of what I might do, I don't even like you, I'll be getting stronger. Stay with me if you wanna be a gunner, man, I promise you I'm on it. Cowboy, yeah, I'm raw if I have to. You don't be strong, messages is everything. Listen up closely, don't be getting loud and acting like we homies if only you're about your shit. I mean, I ain't a hard guy, but he wants beef, I'll slap the kid backhanded him. We can go back and forth until you're ready to settle. I'll go on and on till it gets heavy like metal. I don't trap, just rap, I stick to the facts. Are you mad? I am moving weight, telling you my day go come. Soon as they turn, I love to watch them run. I'm building a legacy, and leave until I'm done. And you done, I don't care about the hate. It's just energy I don't want, energy I don't need, energy I don't have. But I guess I'm kinda glad you say this, cause I have a smile, then sip from my cup. Once again, leaving the booth, but you know that I've won. But let you know that I ain't done.
Well, we've got Siren here, graffiti artist, tattoo artist, and may I add, one of the dopest tattoo artists I've ever seen.
Well, I see you active anyway, man. I follow your Instagram, man. I'm always loving your work, man. Fully, like when I get some money together, I'll come see you, man. For real.
Talking to someone like Siren, you can see like the graffiti side of it, the tattoo side of it. There's like a lot of strings to a bow of a graffiti writer. But ultimately, what is it that really makes you feel like you love graffiti? Are you driven by the fact that you can make money off your art, or are you more about getting your name up and showing the world that you are ready to go out there and go against society to prove that you stand out?
Like, graffiti took me from being like an arty kid. I draw characters and all that. I got like drawn in Stockwell, where there was Trick and Clone. They did these sick characters. And I was just like, wow, fucking characters are sick. So I was drawing characters every day, like all day at school and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, like all the way along, my love for letters grew and grew and grew. The kind of art went to the side, and it became more like a graphic. And then obviously the running around nighttime stuff. Fucking loved it.
Yeah.
So now I'm probably most fun I have is catching a tag or doing a dub.
So it's still just the element of graph itself, just the raw.
But it's more like a battle and it's work to get the burn, whereas it's like quick satisfaction.
And in a nutshell, like obviously, you know, you have roots here and you have roots in South America. So tell us a bit about that backstory of the fact that, like, for example, when you travelled and you went to Buenos Aires, you found yourself forced into a tattoo environment.
And like it was a graffiti thing, I was painting and they knew me for graph like around South America, so I was travelling there at the time. But yeah, when I started out, as you were saying, in Buenos Aires, it was a completely different world. It's like, what, 12, 13 years ago? And
had you tattooed before?
I've never tattooed before, ever, man.
You've never tattooed anyone, never held a gun, played with ink?
No, I had a brethren and he was cool, and I used to like, he tattooed my first tattoo, but yeah, I got into it, I understood it. Like I asked all the questions about machines and needles, but it's like it was behind the times back then. And then of course I learned in South America, they're like 10 years behind.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway.
But it's simple then as well.
Yeah, so I'm like with needles, I'm soldering the needles and binding the needles. And
it's fair to say that your South American black and grey gang style tattooing started in South America.
Was in the shadows.
Well, that's fully authenticated.
So that's as authentic as it gets, right?
In Buenos Aires, there are places called Las Villas, and in Las Villas it's a favela or shantytown. And yeah, I had a studio there. That was my first plot. I definitely got a streak of graffiti in me, and I definitely got a streak of Latino in me.
And what brought you here today?
What brought me here?
Yeah, what brought you here today?
No, what brought me here, Sam, man? Fuck. You brought me here, fucking. My boy's here, man. Fucking mad love with this.
Yes,
let's safe.
I'm going to welcome to the stage. This is our man Chew. Make some noise for Chew, people. Yo, let's do this.
Loud and clear, loud and clear. Yo, somebody give me a drink in this motherfucker. Hey, DJ Jaffa, live in Levies, it's the holder. Hey, I'll be after the game. Hey, I'll be after the game. Hey, I'll be after the game. People, I'll be after the game. Hey, I'll be after the game. I'll be after the game. Hey, I'll be after the game. Myself too, yeah. I think on shows on my chromosomes. This kid's on tools and broken bones. I wanna get rich off tools and the rolling stones. I do it for them kids in the broken home. Somebody tell them, get ready for the monsoon. MCs are getting ready when I'm on tune. Tell them I'll be gone soon. Your mum's pussy takes point like a motherfucking log flume. Whack rappers, they don't have a hope. The mic is in it, fucking 100 up, I had to know. Running up a script when I was in the
got Liam here, originally from the Battle League, Don't Flop, and we're just having a little conversation about battling, man.
Yeah.
So,
Hi, nice to meet you, man.
Yeah, you too, man. So we were talking about this. You've kind of come out of battling now.
Yeah, I mean, I still get involved with battle rap when I can, but my existence in battle rap as a league owner has kind of changed a little bit.
Sure. So in what kind of facilities, what do you do now within that kind of thing?
So originally I started off as a creative director, so I filmed, directed, edited pretty much all the battle rap, the most famous battles you're going to see. I've filmed Mark Gris vs Blizzard, Shotty Horror vs Arsenal, Cannabis vs Disaster, Pat Stay vs Disaster, pretty much everything around the world. What was successful about it was freestyle, which everyone knows about freestyle battle rap. But what we changed, and I think hip hop didn't like to begin with,
of course, man. Yeah, there's
was
definitely
written rap.
Yeah.
So like back in the day, it was massively frowned upon for people to write for a battle.
I think the essence of battling was that being more off the cuff, being ready there and then at any time to represent your art form. So it was generally freestyle, and I think that was the test of the MC in that way. I'm guilty of that. When I was seeing something that kind of, for me, was more about the comedic value than the potency of a lyricist almost. And obviously it takes to be clever to write these funny lyrics, but it's almost playing to the crowd more than maybe a hip-hop crowd would. Do you know what I'm saying? Maybe it's more personal, I don't know.
I just thought it was different. So like, say we're battling and you're wearing a Nike t-shirt and you're just like, while I write this, your dick's as big as that Nike tick. That's what freestyle battle rap is, where it's kind of say what you see, check shirt, Fred Durst. You're going to be saying stuff that comes to your mind, but the difference was when people could start writing their rounds, suddenly you'd have like...
More clever. It gives you more time to actually craft the bars.
The rhyming was better. You could have an atomic bomb designer, Dr. Robert Oppenheimer, and you could have all these really succinct bars, and it changed the scene of it. But to begin with, people were very anti-Britain battle rap.
Definitely, man. Well, what we were talking about earlier was the freestyle element of it. So maybe we can kind of bring that back a little bit. Like, I'd like to see more freestyle, real freestyle battles, high profile. Where are the freestylers at? Do you know many kind of like?
Oh, so many great freestylers. I filmed an event in Manchester last weekend, and there's this guy called Red Flag, and he was doing freestyle rebuttals mid-round. Okay. Do you know, like when you're that confident in your material, that you've got all of your writtens, but you're also thinking about how can I...
You're editing them to bring in...
So you're editing
on the fly.
And you're switching back. And like, it was such a fucking... But there's people out there that still have that freestyle element, and that is really like Ilmac. When you separate the men from the boys, it's that written battle rap element, but mixed it with freestyle.
Well, this is what that's what I would love to see. That's what I kind of, again, that is because it's got to be the pinnacle of it. And if given the time and the space to rehearse and learn something, a lot of people could do that.
Yeah.
And so to really perfect it, to bring that freestyle element back into it a little bit, I'd love to see more of that, man.
100%. But isn't freestyle at the same time almost written in a way?
It very much depends, man. But this is the thing. This again is something that gets contested a lot between the hip hop community. What is a freestyle? So in my mind, a freestyle is fully off the dome. Currently, if you record a freestyle video, and again, this is from the old school hip hop.
Can fit anything.
Exactly, and it's something that is not pre-recorded or put on track already. So it's something that is not on anything yet.
Yeah, but even when you freestyle, you have your triggers. So if you'd be like, I'm gonna freestyle in the meanwhile, I'm like Tom Hanks in the Green Mile. You've got your...
It's the way the head works. It's really difficult to not have those kind of fall back kind of thing. Absolutely. But this is why, when you get really good freestylers and they off the cuff and the shit. We got a guy here, Chew, today. He was in Red Bull grind battles. I talked to you about him earlier. When he's on top form, it is absolutely superb, and you would fight and argue that it is pre-written.
Okay.
And he can bring it in context, multi-syllables. Like,
have you ever seen Pedro?
Yeah.
So Pedro is one of the best freestylers I've ever known. He thinks in multi-syllables, which is mental. Like, but people don't understand what multi-syllables are.
Of course.
But like, he had one that was like, I've got the heart of stone like a garden gnome, which is fucking mental. It was funny when we were coming up and we were doing like written rap battle rap. We had a real backlash from UK hip hop.
I can see that.
Like fucking Dirty Dyke hated us. There was a whole like weird thing where people thought we were stealing great MCs from hip hop by doing written battle rap because people would rather do that than make trap.
Well, this is the thing. In the same way that it's happened in breaking, beatboxing, and the other elements of the culture, the same way that it's happened is that it's being almost it's monetized in a different way. It's a different kind of product, essentially. Do you know what I mean? That's not a bad thing, you know. Like it's made a sport of rap in a way.
Yeah, I mean that's cool. I mean, like I've filmed battles in front of 2,000 people. There's millions of people who watch it online. Absolutely. It's just created this appetite that's a little bit different, but it's funny.
This has been great.
Pleasure.
Absolutely. Thanks very much for speaking to you, man. Let's chat again, man. I'll give you more details and let's talk about freestyle battling.
Let's do
that.
Pleasure.
Thank you, man.
This track has been dedicated to real hip hop.
I began this rhyme on New Year's Eve so I could reflect on hip-hop histories and fight self-doubt and wonder when the world stops spinning like a big 1210. I'm a classic 501 with enough flair to try and do what ain't been done. I remember when I scratched with an amp volume slide. I brought my dad my first 45. It wasn't for him, it was for me. I brought in raps to like quite selfishly back when Angie Stone was Angie B and a new rap language was Treacherous 3. And my man Spoonie G was an inspiration for me to rhyme in a style like conversation. Back in the days of Jekyll and Hyde before Andre Harrell was on the industry side.
We're going to talk to a guy and get a bit of a perspective from a mind of an ordinary citizen. Way back when it was...
Before I was born.
When UK heads were being rago before it was actually cool to be a UK rago MC. That's how I see Blade. That's how I see Blade.
What I personally think is wrong with the industry now is basically everyone is following what they're told to follow, which is like, all the kids are kind of believing that the way forward is to show how much material goods you've got rather than how much you got here. And I just think a lot of people lack heart. Social media has put everyone in a place where they feel like they have to answer to the world rather than answering to themselves. And I keep saying to people, like, you don't have to answer to nobody. If you're paying your own way in life, you don't have to answer to nobody. Right? So what you have to do is you have to get in touch with that child in you that had no inhibitions and just go out there and be exciting. How you make it is you get something that no one else has got, and that something is right here. You have heart. Yeah? And when you've got heart and you know who you are, nothing can stop you. Do you know what I mean? And it's just, that's when you just keep going. When all the other artists are big at the moment on the internet and social media and whatever are forgotten, you'll have something that you can tell people about. Do you know what I mean? Like I can go and set up a barbecue and have a fire and whatever, and I can sit there and I can tell people stories about all the things that I did as an artist and whatever. Even to this day, I can tell you stories you wouldn't believe. You know what I mean? Right? But there's a lot of people, all they can turn around and go, I made a lot of money. Yeah, and I drove a Lamborghini and I drove whatever, but how much of that was actually yours? How much, like you said, how much do you have to pay back the record label?
It's an illusion.
I mean, a lot of it is there. There are, let's not get it wrong, there are some people out there who are doing good, and good luck to them. You know what I mean? I respect all of those people who put the work in and they're getting out there and doing it. But it's like for the majority of the kids out there, it's an illusion. It's an illusion because the number of people that think that because they see this happening, it's going to happen for them. It doesn't happen that way. Do you know what I mean? And you have to be prepared for the eventuality that, you know what, you might have to be contemplating suicide because nothing's working out like you planned.
What would you say out of all the times you did your shit, all the shows you've done, all the people you met, what was the groundbreaking moment that made you really believe in the way that you move because of your passion for the art? What was that solidifying moment?
No, the solidifying moment was probably when I got arrested and then walked out of the police station with their phone and sold it for £50. That's when I thought I can get away with anything. When I retired, I made a point of saying, if I make music, it's just going to be for the fun of it. Yeah.
That's what it should be, though, right?
Yeah. So if I do something, like I've done a couple of tracks with a couple of people already.
Yeah. You did one with Dolby, right?
Yeah, I did one with Dolby.
It's messy out here. It's messy out here. The winner is hands out here. It's messy out here. It's messy out here. Hit that low, don't be square. It's messy out here. It's messy out here. SOS, somebody light up a flare. It's messy out here. It's messy out here. Fuck that spit, throw the smoke in the air.
Dolby kept going on about royalties. I told him I don't want it. Keep it. Ask him, he's here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I kept telling him I don't want it, keep it.
Yeah.
I did a record that came out on Boot Records recently, which was a couple of demos and whatever. But ask Jazz, we never discussed money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As far as I'm concerned, it's all yours, keep it. I done a record with a friend of mine, and you're going to hear about hopefully soon, once he gets his stuff together. He's just organising everything now. So once that's all together. But again, no mention of money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not money that drives you. Look, if you do what you do right, the money's going to come anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So
Definitely.
my drive is not money. My drive is to show people I mean business.
We was all really just like mesmerized, and there's a lot of old school people in here. We go back to the days of like Fat Boys, Dougie Fresh, even before that, CFO, R.I.P. CFO. Where did you lot like come up with your style, and how long ago? And how much do you go at it? Do you like practice, or is it just something you could just do easy?
I basically seen Fozzy when I was like 14 years old, seen him performing, and I took inspiration from that. I didn't think people could make these sounds with their mouths. So I stayed in my room, started practicing, watching YouTube videos. So yeah, that's just how I'm basically a beatboxer today.
Fozzy, a great crowd.
We're here outside Harlem Soul, we're like Colt45. I've been to a couple of your barbecues. At your barbecues, it's like everyone's having fun.
Back then there wasn't Facebook, so it was harder to connect with everyone. So it was pretty much word of mouth. And then it was like, right, let's get everyone together that we used to go around with. You know, just nostalgia, bit of food, music. Just listen to music that we don't listen to on a regular basis. Do you know what I'm saying? On a day-to-day. And it kind of started like that. And then after the first one, everyone was going, oh, that was really good. And I was going, do you know what? Yeah, let's have another one. And it just kind of rolled on from then.
No, you've got like a tattoo parlour.
Yep, that's right, yeah.
What's the name of it?
It's called Custom Ink.
Custom Ink?
Yep, Custom Ink.
Where's
yeah.
that based?
That's based in Essex. One based in Essex and one based in Hertfordshire.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
That's brilliant, man.
Yeah, thank you. I'll be real with you, when I moved up to Essex, I actually come up there and I was actually homeless.
Right.
So I went from being homeless to the situation that I'm in now.
Yeah,
so,
but you have to want to change that situation, innit?
Of course, man. I mean, I remember the day I sat there and I thought, you know what, there's got to be more to life than this. And then I just went, right, and that was pretty much it.
Just made everyone know that it's possible to do.
Yeah, of course,
You know what I mean?
Of
As I
course,
said,
man.
if you want to do it, you can
determination,
do
yeah.
it.
That's
of course.
right, that's right, yeah.
You've got the Cardiff element coming through. Live at Larry's.
There's living legends here right now, and young kids that want to be living legends.
Sure.
So that's fucking all we need, right?
One of the most magical things happened to me earlier was that when I was filming young Evans, 16-year-old lad from Newport, and I'm there filming this young lad, being like so proud because I've seen him come up, and he's rocking it, and I'm like, man, he's amazing. But I'm watching the corner of my eye, got Blade chatting about the boy.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's what this is about.
That's right.
To bring those links together, bring those connections together. And again, teams win, man, and that's true.
You damn sure got the blues.
Make some noise! When I was shit,
so this is what sexy is now. Broke as fuck is no joke. I'm still smashing the shit somehow. Blow, how you like me now? New ruthless now. Whipping new wild souls for doubt, I suppose. With them off our shows, you're weak. Sleep, God compete. AP and devil is not the sweet. This is just God bless. Pussy, it's all you'll ever be. Hide behind walls and gun fuck it. So I sleep back in my world. You stay licking your lips, you little bitch. And only stepping much as I'm supposed to be. Come on, man. Only stressing cause I got mouths to feed. Keep on pushing, but you're not catching me. Yeah. When it's a place, I can spray 2001, 3, 4. And it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Surprise it out, and it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Surprise it out,
This is the Larry Show.
Just to let you know, that's right.